The Los Angeles Clippers have long been known as a team that's always on the verge of greatness, yet never quite reaching it.
Time and time again, their championship aspirations have been cut short, whether it's due to the unprecedented circumstances of the bubble or simply dealing with injuries.
This season, with the addition of the explosive Russell Westbrook, the Clippers hope to defy expectations and finally break through the playoff barrier.
However, with Paul George sidelined by injury, the team's fate hangs in the balance.
Will Westbrook's dynamic presence be the key to unlocking the Clippers' true potential, or will history repeat itself once again?
Up for the layup. Oh, blocked by James. Box. Back out to Allen. His three-pointer. Bang! Curry. Way downtown. Bang! Bang!
James, a shot of history.
What's going on, guys? So today we're going to talk a little bit about the Clippers, about their playoff aspirations, and what we think they're even going to do. So, you want to start it?
All right, so we said in the intro how the Clippers are like almost always there, and it's funny how this goes back to all the way when they had like Chris Paul and Blake Griffin.
Yeah.
They're always that team, all the dangerous. That was gonna be a 50+1 team, but never good enough to beat the better teams in the West, like the Spurs back then, the Thunder, and then the Warriors was like terrorizing them. You know that they never ended up going against each other in the playoffs, but the Warriors could always just spank them every time they played each other. And now, obviously, they have Kawhi and Paul George, and over the past few years, they have been a team that everybody always says, you can't count them out because they have one of the best players, and they have always like great role players, a good coach. But for some reason, they kind of gotten like a pass for not reaching their potential.
I think it's injuries. In 2020, they didn't. People were.
Of course, they deserved it.
And it's funny because I do think they were the favorites in 2020. Like, we obviously wanted the Lakers to win, but they had so much, bro. I think whether it was coaching, injuries, whatever, they really never got to blend. And then I think Ty Lue really unlocked a different part of them, but then obviously Kawhi got injured again. So it's been a lot of things, so I could see why they necessarily don't get the blame that they probably deserve. But I think their best chance has still been that 2020 season, and I think they completely wasted it.
Yeah, and then we heard those recent comments of them saying, we would have won if we're not in the bubble. And that just kind of goes to... They've always been like a bit unlikable.
Yeah.
Besides Kawhi, who's quiet, doesn't really say much. Having players like Patrick Beverly, Lou Williams, and Montreal back in the day that was just always talking.
Always.
And Paul George, I know a guy be talking a lot.
Yeah, and that's a guy that always, like, no matter what, he's always injured somehow. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's always something. It's either his mental health, he's injured. Like, damn, that's crazy, bro.
And all right, going to this season, where they stand right now. Obviously, Paul George out. We don't know exactly when he's gonna come back. We're assuming that he's not going to be there for the first round of the playoffs. So we should check right now, and it's still, they're not sure when he's going to be able to come back. And without him, at the end of the day, they're not going to be able to contend for a championship, especially with the Suns with KD, the Lakers being a lot better, and the Warriors. I would say, not to like get off topic, those like 4 teams. Let's say the Clippers were healthy, those would be like the top 4 teams in the West.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even with the Nuggets and stuff like that, which sounds crazy, right? But if we're keeping it real, those 4 teams have the best players in Curry, Kawhi, LeBron, and KD. So those are teams that are taken serious unless another team proves them otherwise. Something that we talked a lot about the intro is Russell Westbrook, and just talk a little bit about how he has felt the team and if you have been like impressed by him.
Yeah, and not necessarily that I've been impressed because he's playing literally like himself. It's just the fit is like super apparent, bro. Like the fit is so much better with him on this team. Obviously, the type of playmaking that he adds to this team isn't necessarily the type of playmaking that they really necessarily need. But he's been great with Mason Plumlee. He's been great with Zubats. And I think he's fit overall. And he looks happy. He's had games that he's carried. He's been able to have a 30-point game this season, which we didn't see before. And him and Kawhi have been okay together. I thought they were not going to fit as well, but they have been pretty good. They have been disappointing, though. I will say that because even when Russ pulled up to the team, they were fully healthy and they lost 5 in a row.
Yeah.
Like to me that was unacceptable. And now without PG, they've been up and down. And I think a big part of that, and I want you to get into this, is probably like the role players. I think we've seen a decrease in Marcus Morris and Terrence Mann ever since he got taken out of the starting lineup. We've seen a decrease with him.
Yeah, I would say I think there's something that happens a lot, that when you have too many quote-unquote good role players, I don't know why it just seems to like not work out. I don't know if it's...
I always bring up the example with the Boston Celtics, literally with Marcus Morris. They had like the same player.
Yeah.
They had Gordon Hayward, they had Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, like a bunch of the same players, and they were never really able to work.
Yeah, because we have always said on paper that team looks amazing. It looks great. You have Norman Powell, Batum, Terrence Mann, Marcus Morris, who has apparently been like complete booty.
Yeah, I didn't even know.
People were saying that he's like done for, like just liability out there. And it's funny, players like Batum, somebody that you wouldn't expect to play so good, have been like the best role players.
Yeah, he's been great when they picked him up. That was a great pickup by them. I mean, they have a great GM. He's been great, and obviously, like they're a team that likes to spend money. And so, I guess to wrap things up, I don't really know what their playoff hopes look like. I think if they go up against, the Suns, I think they'll probably lose just because they don't have Paul George. But even with Paul George, I don't know how much I believe in them. I don't think their chemistry is that good. I don't necessarily love them that much, and I just don't think they've been able to put it together. I think they have pieces, but I don't think they've been able to put it together. I don't know if that's coaching, injuries, whatever it is. They've simply not been able to put it together. And a question that I want to pose to the audience is, and to you, what do you think is going to happen in the future? How long do you think this duo is going to stay together?
That's actually a very good question because year after year, like we were saying earlier, you always can use injury as an excuse for why they didn't make it from the playoffs. And obviously there's some big truth to that. But for how long are you gonna say that for? For how long? How long is it gonna take to get to a point that it's like, oh, we keep getting injured because our two main stars are injury prone. And the Clippers, they have never won. I'm sure they're desperate to win, especially Steve Ballmer, who we know cares a lot. Like I was saying, I was willing to spend whatever money it takes to make the team good. I don't know, man. I think it's tough to let go of Kawhi or Paul George, and I don't think either of them wants to leave. I think they both like being in LA a lot. Yeah. So honestly, I think he's gonna stay there for a minute, bro.
Yeah, I think Kawhi's special. I think Kawhi might like deadass just retire there. I think with Paul George, I think I can see him going to another team. I can see them trying again with maybe more role players, maybe another star. But I really don't know. Their future looks weird. I mean, Ty Lue, didn't we hear that he might even leave?
I didn't hear too much about that, but that's interesting. If he is
because he's like dealt with a lot. So I don't really know. Their future looks weird. I think if they lose to the first round, if they lose because PG wasn't there, for example, let's say to the Suns, I think they'll try it again. But for example, if they go up against the Sacramento Kings, they beat the Sacramento Kings or something like that, and they just lose. Like you know when it's a bad loss, when it's a good loss. And I think they might have to really take a look in their roster and just do a complete rebuild. Maybe go younger like the Lakers did, or I don't even know.
And I could see Paul George eventually ending on the Lakers.
You think so still?
I know it's like a random thing to say, but that's just I guess you can say it's just a feeling that I have.
He's always been like the super Lakers.
Yeah. There's a bunch of funny videos of Paul George saying, I grew up with a Clippers fan.
Yeah.
I know you love Kobe. I know you want to be a Laker. And I could see him later in the future, maybe. You know what? Let me just pull up to Lakers.
All right. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video.
Peace out.